Okay, we're good afternoon. Um, is James on? Good afternoon to all of our parents from the Newcastle School District. Today, I am meeting with you, as all of you know, I'm Debbie DeBlasio, Superintendent of Newcastle School District, to give you a update and a briefing on what we will be doing for the beginning of school. So I will get started here in a moment. What we are going to be doing today is to give you a little briefing on what we will be doing for the first 9 weeks of school. As you know, we have posted the educational plan on the website, www.ncasd.com. At the top of it, it notes Return to School Educational Plan. That gives you a plan that will be from the very beginning of school until in January. But let me say this, the plan is made to be changed as we move forward. As of right now, we are having virtual school for 9 weeks that will end on November the 3rd. On November the 4th, we are planning to come back to school in a hybrid mode. Could change, we have no idea, and I need you to bear along with me and to understand this because it's an ever-changing world. Since March 13th, we hit one target and then the target would move and we go to another target and another target, and it never seemed to stop. But as of right now, and as of today, I am saying to you that we will be in a virtual mode from the start of school day, which is August 31st, all the way until November the 3rd. At that time, before that time, I will be meeting with the parents again and continually giving you updates through our Alert Now system, through our texting system, through our webpage, through any information, anytime that I have information that I feel is necessary to get it out to you in volume, I would also do it on the Zoom meeting as I'm doing today. So why is Debbie DeBlasio recommending to the school district, along with my administration, that to the school board, that we need to go virtual? I did it on 4 principles. And the first principle is the biggest and best reason above all. I'm doing for the health and safety of your child and our students, each and every one of them. I wanted to make sure that we kept them healthy and safe. As I go through the charts and you see the numbers, you're going to see that there has been quite a bit of an increase in Lawrence County. Frightens me. We need to get those numbers down, and it's not bringing the students back to school at this time to help get those numbers down. So 1, and above all, health and safety. 2, food and nutrition, and we will be getting into that. We will be offering meals 5 days a week for breakfast and lunch, and we'll be giving you an idea of how that is going to get to your home. Also, we're very much interested in the social emotional learning of our students. We understand it's been a very difficult time for them. Very difficult. It's been a difficult time for you, the parents. But if I must be perfectly frank, my major concern is the students, and make sure that I have in place what they need for their social emotional learning. If they have any concerns about mental health, if we have any concerns about physical health, we are going to be working with you to do it. And the 4th one is an education that has quality to it. We must give a quality education. Here's what I will tell you. On March 13th, we were told at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, school's done. On March 17th, we were told that schools will be closed down for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks from then, they said, you have to give some sort of education. The Newcastle School District, as most of you know that we went ahead and we gave out computers to those students that need it. We did what we could do the best of our ability back then. This new virtual school will take on a totally different look. What I'd like to say before I go on, and everyone that knows me knows that I am very transparent and stuff. I've been hearing some parents that are complaining about babysitting. I get it. I understand it. I was a mother of 2 children, worked full-time. My husband worked full-time. I understand that there's a concern for babysitting. That cannot be my main focus right now. So I want to make that clear because I'm not a social media person, but it's getting back to me that there's a lot of complaints. What about babysitting? What about this? What about that? Again, if you keep it in the center of your mind, health and safety is the most important thing that we have made our decisions on. At the very beginning of the plan, I write a letter to you and tell you what to do. I encourage you, when we are done, if you haven't done so yet, please get on www.ncasd.com and return to school education plan, and please read it over. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't say to you that there has been a lot of planning that has gone into this. Yes, surveys went out. Yes, we have been planning, but as we've been planning, things have been changing, not for the good at this point, not for the good. So in May, just to give you a little bit of an idea, we have been meeting weekly, if not daily, with our administrative staff here. We've been meeting with local superintendents, who, by the way, just to give you a fact that many of you may not know, Newcastle School District, as of today, has 3,170 students. The school district next to us has 2,000 students less. So how do I make this choice? And some other districts chose to go back because the amount of students in their district is less, some of them is less than the amount of students we have in one building. So I would like to let you know that too. We've been meeting with superintendents from the area. We've been meeting with curriculum directors. I've been meeting with my administration. I've been meeting with my intermediate unit, with PDE. I've talked to the Department of Health. And then in June, we came back and we started preparing teachers for whatever model we would go back to. Because remember, in June, we had no idea what model we would go back to because we had no idea what COVID-19 would be doing in this area. So we started doing flex plans for our teacher, flex professional development for our teachers. Our teachers have been all summer long going through trainings to get some, to get much more knowledge so that we will be able to deliver instruction the best way we can in any model that we chose to go back. And in this particular time, it is the virtual model. The Pennsylvania Department of Education, Department of Health issued a public health guidance regarding COVID-19. They phased it, reopened pre-K to 12. That was on June 16th. On June 16th, our numbers were a little bit low. And now, as I'm going to show you the trend, the numbers have gotten higher, but you may look at that. That is also a link that is in part of our plan. On June 22nd, we got a resocialization as sport recommendations. It was approved and submitted. That too is on our webpage. On June 24th, the Newcastle Area School District Return to School Committee was formed and the meetings commenced. On the June 25th, the Department of Education has most recently partnered with the Mid-Atlantic Regional Laboratory to provide research regarding school openings. Considerations for reopening in the Pennsylvania schools was a 64-page report. That link is also in our plan. Please, please look at that plan so that you can be well informed. On July 6th, PDE released information that addresses the minimal instructional hours, so parents are aware of this. Under normal circumstances, we are required to teach 180 days at the elementary level, 900 hours for the year, and at the high school, junior high, high school level, 990 hours. So we will be teaching and providing the education so that we meet those minimal of hours, just to let you know, and the 180 days. On June 10th, I put out a parent survey. Many of the districts put them out way before I did. That's perfect. But with me, the reason that I put it out on June 10th is because I knew on July 4th, and from the bottom of my heart, I knew this, on July 4th, people were going to get together. Our community went green. It was a green light for all of us to go back and to mingle. We had missed our families, we missed our friends, we were shooting fireworks, we were doing all this. But all along, I knew from the bottom of my heart the ramifications of us being together and in the community were going to cause our numbers to rise. So my survey did not go out until later than all other surveys. On the 20th, I had a school board meeting. I presented some of the data that I had received. I presented some of the data that I got from, not only from our survey, but also from the Department of Health. And the board was aware of what I was doing, and they supported me through this all, knowing that our administration has worked since literally from May on to do what's best for your child. On July 23rd, we put a pandemic meeting team together. That team is ongoing. We have parents on the team. We have teachers on the team. We have guidance counselors on the team. We have community members on the team. We have a medical doctor that's on the team. And we have been meeting regularly. Actually, we have been meeting for weekly. And this week, I canceled the meeting so that I can meet with the parents and talk to the parents about what we're doing. On July 30th, we put the teaching and learning plan in the virtual workshop series of educators and administrators commence. So what we did is we started putting teachers together, knowing that we were 98% sure at that time that we were going to go virtual. So we put teachers together so that teachers become quality, are able to teach virtually and give your student or your child a quality education. On August 10th, I went in front of the Newcastle Area School Board. We presented our plan, and the Newcastle School Board Board accepted the plan 9-0, knowing that we had what was in the best interest of your child. So, which brings us to today. So I talked to all stakeholders. I talked to the board, of course. I talked to my administrators. I talked to my teachers. I am now coming to my parents and asking you to support what we are doing now and to trust me, this is in the best interest of your child as of right now with numbers and what is going on. So, what is the goal of our plan? The goal of our plan, and you'll be able to read this in the continuity of education plan or the return to education plan, was to provide the students with the best possible education experience possible during these unprecedented times. And when I say unprecedented times, I certainly mean them. We don't know what's going to happen from one day to another. Our planning process is outlined by me, has been brought to many community stakeholders, as I told you, to the table. I asked for advice, I asked for feedback, I asked for creative solutions, and there are many challenges set in front of us here. While we know and understand a full-time traditional in-person instruction for all students every day is our goal, due to the rising numbers of COVID-19 cases in Lawrence County, we have made a decision to open school in a virtual learning environment, as we believe is the safest option for our students and staff. Through the use of parent and staff surveys, meetings with various committees, conversations with local and regional educational leaders, and critical look at our virtual learning program that we delivered in the spring, we have made many improvements to our virtual learning program, including but not limited to what we call screencasting, Sapphire, which is a parent will help. It's a, what do I want to call it? Help me.
Student information system.
A student management system that was parent friendly. Video conferencing, we'll be doing virtual schedules and more professional development guidelines for teachers to bring some uniformity across the grade levels. As we have learned over the past 5 months, the circumstances related to COVID-19 evolve constantly, so they won't be permanent, and the pandemic task force is set to meet bi-weekly to discuss adjustments and modification to the plan as needed. We will continue to monitor the information from the Pennsylvania Department of Education, the Pennsylvania Department of Health, from the CDC, and any other relevant resources daily to help us make adjustments when it's safe to do so. The Newcastle Area School District has included in that plan that is on our webpage and that I am reading the goal from right now, plans a tentative timeline for returning to school. There will be no option for students at all. There will be options for students at all grade levels. Please take time to read through this information carefully, and you will eventually need to make a very important decision for your child. Here's what I can say to you from the bottom of my heart. There was no one that would be happier than Debbie de Blasio to see the children run into school on the first day, for them to get back to a normal life. After 36 years in education, it pains me to see that children are not able to come back to school. But again, along with that pain, I have to, along with the rest of my administration, along with the Newcastle Area School Board of Directors, we have to do what's right for children and health and safety. When I put the plan out showing you how ever-changing it is, in 1 month's time from July 10th to August 6th, there were 203 new cases in Newcastle. As of today, right this afternoon, add to that 203, there are 14 new cases and 13 just today. So we are now up to 230 cases in Lawrence County. This had a great impact on my decision. 2 days ago, they said, good news, 0 in Lawrence County. I'm saying yes, because this plan is forever will be forever changing, like I told you. Today, I'm a little disheartened, 8 yesterday and 13 today. So that was part of the data that I put on. I also looked at the surveys. Our neighborhood schools that did surveys early on, they had 85, 92, 94% of parents that wanted their students back to school. If you look at our survey, and you may, please do, again, get on the plan on the webpage. 48% of our parents, 48.7% of our parents wanted traditional instruction with social distancing. 45.2 wanted online learning. This is the number you need to pay attention to, please. 3.0, we're looking for other cybers. 2.6 wanted a combination, and 0.4 were undecided. Those numbers to me speak volumes that our community is divided on who would like for their child to attend and who would not. But at this point, I must make the superintendent's decision, along with my administration, to move with virtual. These children, this was not a strong survey to me. If we read 82, 90% of the parents wanted them to come back. If I saw that the numbers were going down, then we would be able to readjust. These numbers speak volumes to me, but not the way some parents may see it. They may see it, well, I want my child to go back. They should have a chance to go back. I would say under normal circumstances, I agree with you, but in this time with the COVID-19, I absolutely have to do what's best for the health and safety of our students. The next question we asked there, would your child be riding the bus? We got 53.3% said yes, they would be riding the bus. We have 43.7% that said no. We had 3% that was undecided. Again, the numbers are speaking volumes to me. We need to make adjustments for students to keep them as far apart as we can. We needed to say a 5-year-old child, 11th grade child, a 12th grade child, a 4th grade child, a special needs child, all must wear a mask on the bus to protect other people. So we went on and we asked the third question. And the third question was, if your child is attending school in person, will they be able to wear a mask as required? We got a good number saying yes. That's not what I'm concerned with. It was the number that said no. 15.6% said no, and 84.4% said yes. That 15.6, not wearing masks and not knowing how this virus is being contracted, I think that number speaks volumes too. So putting all this together, this is why I came to the decision that we needed to go virtual to start out. As I told you earlier, we had a pandemic task force committee together. There was about 35 people on that. We had teaching and learning committees from our educators and administrators. We had about 30 people on that team. We then broke our teams down. We thought about the school safety, security, and visitors of the district, how we would handle that. We talked about the school day, how it would look to the staff, how it would look to the students. We talked about the teaching and learning committee. How are we going to deliver instruction to the students, whether we're in a complete virtual setting, whether we're in a hybrid setting? And my hope and my wish is that we eventually get back as soon as possible to a traditional setting, to the brick and mortar where all of us knew and were raised and grew up in. My heart goes out to our children. Very sad. We also talked about food services and cafeteria. We talked about how we're going to get food out to children that may need to have food. We talked about technology. What technology are we going to have to be successful? Because this is a complete new game from March 13th till now. Much more education will be taking place. We talked about transportation, even though at this point we talked about virtual. We talked about transportation. How will that look once the students get on the bus? What are we going to do? How are we going to keep them social distancing? We know that it's not going to be 6 feet, but how do we do that? How do we say that all students must wear masks? Special Service Committee, Mr. Mazaka has been working diligently with the special service students, those students that need that extra help, and we'll be talking to each and every parent that has a special needs child, either him or someone from his department, so that we make sure that every child is educated the right way possible. We even talked about cleaning and maintenance and other CDC mitigation efforts that continually come up. Like, how are we going to set our classroom up when it gets started? We even have pictures of how we would do that with a classroom. We talked about removing furniture from classrooms. We have hit every detail. And as we continue to hit those details, each day the numbers kept creeping up little by little. And this is why we decided to go virtual. As you look at the plan, you will see that in the plan, there's a link for a new revised calendar. Originally, our students were to begin school on the 24th of August. They will not now begin on August 31st. We have put 4 days in front so that we continue to have the professional development that our staff needs and continues to work on and build on from the summer to make this the best educational opportunity we can for students under these circumstances. So the calendar is on the webpage along in the link with the plan. So I will be eventually turning this over to some of our administrators to talk to you and what we're going to be doing. I'm very briefly going to talk about the virtual teaching learning key terminology. There's two right now that I think is very important to you, because I know this is overwhelming to you. It was overwhelming to us, and this is our business. It's our life. And but there are 2 ways that teachers will be delivering instruction. They will be delivering synchronizing. And what synchronizing means is they will be on the computer with your child every day. They will be conducting classes. But as you do in a classroom, you teach a lesson, you have to go back and you have to make sure that the student knows what they do, and that's what they're doing. And we will have small group instruction. We'll have individual virtual office hours if teachers need that at certain times, and I'll allow the principals to elaborate on that, either when they send the letter out to you or today when they speak. And then, as always, like I said, once you teach the lesson, you have to have some sort of formative assessment given. So that's where the asynchronizing would come in. They would be able to do some sort of formative assessment Are the children getting what I'm doing? Are they going to hand in a paper, or are they going to do a activity on their own and bring it back to the teacher and maybe talk about it as a group, or maybe hand it in as a assignment? We want the children to be able to, and this is I'm going to take it down to the simplest way that I could take it. I think about kindergarten. And why do I think about kindergarten? Out of my 36 years, 16 were spent in kindergarten. I understand what it's like. I told people, anyone who serves waffles on the first day of school with syrup, got to be crazy to a kindergarten child. We all know you filled with syrup all over. But a kindergarten child cannot sit on that computer for 5.5 hours. They cannot do it. But what we could do is educate them that full 5.5 hours. We have teachers that are putting classrooms together. They have reading circles. They will be reading with their children. They will be doing other activities with their children. Then they may say to the child, now it's time for you to show me what you learned. Can you please look at this paper and tell me what the answers may be? And the children may be doing it by themselves, or they may be doing it together with the teacher. But the teacher will be online to support them with whatever help they may need. I need you, the parents, to support us. I understand a lot of you work. I understand, believe me, if anybody does, then you have other people to take care of. I get it. But I'm asking you to please try to prioritize this and work with your children. If there is something that's going on and you would like us to be aware of, please do not hesitate to call any of my administrators here or email them. They will be working with you on a daily basis. Okay, so we talked about several options, and in that plan, you'll see the other options that we offered, but right now, the only plan and task is our option 1. We are going to do a K-12 virtual learning model. As I told you, it'll be asynchronized and synchronized. Some total online teaching, and some where children will do assignments as they normally do during the school day. We will have live teachers. This is Debbie Blaze's opinion on that. If we want our children to have healthy and safe, if we want our children to eat and to have nutrition, and I told you how we would be doing that, we're going to elaborate on that. If we want the social emotional, how great would that be under these circumstances if the child will be able to see their teacher on a daily basis? If a high school student will be able to look at that teacher on a daily basis, even though it is virtual, and look at them as a role model. That is the virtual part of the Newcastle Area School District, where our teachers will be teaching. They will be able to make connections with their students. They just will not be able to see them in person because of the situation we are in now, because of COVID-19. That is one option that we are offering from the Newcastle School District. To me, as a parent, that is an option that I absolutely would want you to look at and study very closely. The second option is a cyber school. A cyber school, which we are in, first of all, your child will be in the building in the program for 18 weeks. They would not be able to return with a hybrid like the rest of the children, because once you make a commitment, the commitment will be for 18 weeks. Also, if you choose, let me go back. If you choose the Cyber Academy, in our plan, there is something that you hit a link and it's called Declaration of Enrollment. If you choose the cyber, please hit Declaration of Enrollment. If you decide to stay virtual and with the Newcastle Area School District teaching actively, by the way, cyber school, just to let you know, is our recorded lessons. They are very much go along with our curriculum, but they are recorded lessons. The option 1, again, is our teachers teaching your children every day, making connections. Option 2 would be cyber school. Cyber school would be 18 weeks. You would have to commit to 18 weeks. you would have to fill out the declaration of enrollment for cyber school only. And at that point, we will get in touch with you and make sure that you have the equipment that you need to attend cyber school. On the other hand, option one, again, and I keep repeating myself, but I do this because it's become a way of nature and a natural thing for us because we repeat ourselves so many times so that we understand. Option one will be our teachers. If they are our teachers and you are going to come, visual it like a hopeful thing that we're back to brick and mortar, only in a virtual, we'll be in a virtual setting, not brick and mortar, and you have to do nothing else. All you have to do is enjoy the rest of the summer. I have a couple of dates that I may ask you to come out and get technology and some supplies for your student, but the rest of it, you've made your decision and you can move on. If there's any questions as I go through this, I will say this to you. I am going to ask because I am getting inundated with emails and I have no problem answering them, but some may be getting lost. I would ask you to please, after this meeting, if you have any questions, and I don't know that we'll have time to open up for questions and answers, but if we do not, we will have you email your building principal. And then if they are not able to answer the question, or Mr. Mazaka at Special Services are not able to answer the questions, then they will forward them to me and we will get you an answer. One other thing the Newcastle School District has done is we have started a Q&A, a question and answer on the webpage. If there are questions that are general, we will put those questions up there so that you can have those answered. If they are questions that are individual, then please do, you will get an answer either from your principal, if they're able to give it to you, the teacher, or myself. We'll be here for you. Mr. Mazaka, who has special needs students, if you need him at any time for anything, please feel free to contact him also. So what emails? Let's talk about emails, and I probably should have had it up there, but it's on our webpage. But in the Newcastle Area School District, everybody is at NCASD.com. So if you're looking for Debbie DeBlasio, it's D DeBlasio at NCASD.com. If you're looking for Joe Anderson, it's J Anderson at NCASD.com. So just to let you know that, and it is on the webpage. Okay, the Newcastle School District, with me at its helm, has asked teachers to please curtail homework. There is going to be enough pressure on these children. If I'm certainly interested, as I said, health and safety, and for their social emotional well-being, we don't need homework at night. We put enough pressure on the children. I cannot speak for children that are for students that are in the AP courses. AP courses may have different requirements, but for at least K to 8, I've asked teachers to curtail homework at this point. Okay. So we talked about the Newcastle Cyber School. Just to let you know about the cyber school, once again, and I want to review it because I want to give everybody so you can make a formative decision. If you are deciding on the cyber school, here are some things that you may think of. All NC cyber courses are approved and accepted. There will be a Newcastle cyber orientation and enrollment meeting with a member of the Newcastle faculty, academic scheduling and consultation by guidance counselors with an NCAS device if you need one, Chromebook or laptop. IEP program will be overseen by district special education staff. You will have access to the Newcastle Area School District Technology Help Desk for troubleshooting. A district assigned cyber mentor or progress monitor will be available. Full access to the after-school Canes Club or Canes Club tutoring program. Full access to athletics and extracurricular activities. Re-entry into transition plan after that 18 weeks for return to traditional school with the principal counselor. and Newcastle Area School District diploma. But once again, these are recorded lessons. Students are not able to make connections with their teachers. So I wanted to give you, so that you can make a formative decision, all of the options that you have. Again, and I know I'm repeating myself, and please forgive me if I am, but I can't say it enough. If you are happy with the fact that we will be teaching, and our teachers will be logging on, and our principals will be talking to you about that, and as time goes on, within the next week, we will continue to update you on how the students will get on. We're putting some professional development together of how we can get students started in the Google Classroom. For those that need a refresher course, we will be doing that as we did in March for the parents. In the event that, wait, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to get everything in as we're doing it. In the event that you decide that you need a district device, we will be giving out district devices along with materials. So let me talk a little bit about that. There's going to be plug-in times and plug-out time. I just learned that the other day. So plug-in times is when your children will be working on the computer with their teachers. The plug-out times are times that we may want to do in our project, have them do in our project. We may want them to do drawings. We may want them to do a worksheet. We may want them to do math problems with a calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide materials as teachers have asked us to do, so that we can prepare your children not only for the technology piece, but also, which is synchronizing, where they're actually teaching, but also for the asynchronizing, if they want to do science experiments. Nothing that's going to cause any harm, just experiments that we would be able to do with the children. As I said, keeping them healthy and safe and being realistic is our goal. So we will be giving out devices from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can jot this down, or you could go back and refer to the plan. It's on page 29 of the plan. On August 18th of 2020, from 9 to 2, Newcastle Junior High School 6th grade only will be having a drive up, and you will be getting called, and you will be reminded about that. But August 18th, 2020, at the junior high for 6th grade only, that would be on Lincoln Avenue, and we will call and remind you. On August 19th, 2020, it'll be George Washington Intermediate, grades 3 to 5, if you would need any equipment. Also on August 25th, 2020, will be the senior high, grades 7 to 12. And on August 27th, 2020, the H.W. Lockley, grades K to 2, will be receiving devices. We also, along with the devices, as I told you, will be bagging materials that students will use to complete their projects and assignments during the virtual virtual learning period. I'm getting a little tongue-tied. This is like the 4th presentation that I've done, so please be patient with me. One of the other things, if you are having trouble with Comcast, like getting internet access or anything, please do not hesitate. On page 29, there is a website that you would be able to reach out and to see if you could get either a hotspot or Comcast could put something in that area so that you may receive internet if you are having difficulty doing that. Okay, I'm going to go over just a couple of things more here, and then I'm going to turn it over to the staff, and then I will come back. I just want to make sure that I tell you this also, very, very important for me to let you know. So not only will the teachers be virtual with your students, if you need a guidance counselor, our guidance counselors will be available at all times to your children. If you need a social worker, our social worker will be available at all times. If you need medical support from our nurses, or you just have a question that you're not sure of with the nurses, they will be available at all times. Our food services, we will be sending you a copy of when the when they will be going to your area so that we can deliver food to you. We even have a plan that's put together that Mr. Bergman will be explaining to you. Actually, he's explaining to you through virtual because he wasn't able to be here today. So he actually pre-recorded his message to you. But before I go on, I would like to say grading practices are no longer like they were in March. Grading practices will be exactly the way they would be in the brick and mortar school. We will be going back to normal percentages and letter grades. But with all the support and with us offering, there would be no reason that we would not be able to reach any concerns that you may have about your child and their grading. But we will be returning back to a normal grading system. Attendance, the administrative team will be communicating attendance procedures for you for virtual models. We're working on that right now. We understand that COVID-19 presents many challenges that may affect attendance, but I do believe in this virtual setting, our attendance will be much better than if it was in hybrid or in the traditional setting. And from there, I would like to turn over the program right now to Mr. Jeremy Bergman, and he will be talking a little bit to you about the food services. Now I know. I just said that.
Good afternoon, this is Jeremy Bergman with the Newcastle Area School District. I operate the food service department on behalf of the district, and I wanted to share with you quickly our plans for continuing service during the COVID-19 virtual learning. Our plan as of now is to have bus routes running every Monday morning from 7 a.m. to approximately 9 to 9:30. We will firm up those times and the exact bus stops available within the next few days and have it shared online. However, we have over 75 plus bus stops throughout the district plan to ensure we're meeting the needs of our students. On Mondays, students will receive 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches to carry them through the academic week. In addition, on Monday evenings from 4 to 6, we will have 6 different locations available for parents to pick up their week's worth of food for their students in case they're not available during the day or miss the daytime deliveries. We will continue in the fashion that students do not need to be present to pick up the meals. Parents can pick up the meals, or grandparents or guardians for their children. They just need to know their children's names and grades so we can record the students that have received a meal. We look forward to seeing you all again in a few weeks. Thanks and have a great day.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. John Mazzacca, our Special Service Director.
Good afternoon. At this time, I'd like to share a little bit of information with all the parents with students with special needs. First, we will be conducting IEP meetings for all students within the first 30 days of school. During this time, it's important that we communicate with you and get your thoughts and opinions and put the best plan in place for your child. Meetings will take place virtually or via phone. In unique circumstances, we can also meet face-to-face. When you receive an invitation in the mail, please mark on that form how you would like to meet for your child's IEP meeting. As Mrs. de Blasio talked, it's going to be pertinent and important that you understand when the device distribution times are going to be. We will be making phone calls home, as well as sending letters, as well as information posted on our website. Additionally, internet access is another huge issue. During March, we were able to get 100% compliant, and we will do that again. So if you do have any issues in those areas, please contact me directly, and we will make provisions to get information, devices, whatever it may be to you via delivery. Your teachers We'll be reaching out to you starting August 24th once they return. They'll be working with you to access Google Classrooms, a new database that we're going to be using called Moby Max. Please do not get overwhelmed. We will walk you through the steps and make sure your child succeeds. I've talked to hundreds of parents during this time away, and the constant message is that parents do want increased face time. They want to be able to communicate with the teacher. So I promise you the message to my staff will be the kids need to hear and see us as much as possible. That's all I have for today. Please contact me. And again, your classroom teachers will be in touch shortly.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mazzacca. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Anderson that's going to talk about registration and some of the things that we need to do to get our kiddos back to school.
Hello, everyone. Like Mrs. de Blasio said, I'd like to talk to you briefly about registering your child for school. This goes for any child in any grade level, but especially for incoming kindergarten students. If you haven't registered for school yet, you need to do so as soon as possible. You can call the building that your child will be going to and make an appointment with the building level secretary, as they can help you and guide you through that process. And you can also access our enrollment forms on the Newcastle Area School District website and fill them out and print them, fill them out and scan them and get them back to the building principal, and they will get it into the right direction. I asked everyone on here, if you know anyone, family members, neighbors who have children entering kindergarten, to please encourage them to get to the school and call the school and get registered as soon as possible. Please don't wait till school starts, as we have many things we need to do to get things rolling for the kids, especially through the distance learning platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Next, Mr. LaTrenta will talk to us about visitors, securing the building, and the safety of the building.
Okay, hello, everyone. At the present time, we are asking that parents and visitors refrain from coming to our school buildings. Email, phone calls, and Google Meets will be used as the primary methods of communication and meetings. In-person meetings with administrators or teachers will be used as a last resort and will most likely be scheduled after school hours. We greatly appreciate your cooperation with these procedures. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Before we go on to, well, we'll go back to Mr. LaTrenta. Emily Sanders was not able to be here today, but Emily Sanders is in charge of technology along with Mr. James Foster. So I would like for her to give us, she gave us a little bit of a recorded message, and I would like to play that for you now.
Hi parents, my name is Emily Sanders. I am the Director of Academics and Innovation here at the Newcastle Area School District. I am talking to you today about some of the technology items that will be important for you to know as we transition into our virtual learning model for the first term. The district has been hard at work at ordering devices so we can bridge the gap for access to a device. We have ordered over 800 tablets, Android tablets, for our K-2 students, and we have ordered a little over 1,200 more Chromebooks for the other grades 3 through 12. So we are certain that if you are and your child is in need of a device, that we should have plenty of devices for you to choose from. The other information that I want to share with you is information about some other technology items. And I'm going to actually share my screen so you can see the information that I'm talking about. So right here in our return to school education plan on page 28 is the technology section. And so basically, you know, we are primarily using Google products. We are a Google application for education school district. And we are planning to, again, administer and distribute devices to students who are in need of them. Right here in the plan, you will see a link. This is the link to the waiver. So instead of collecting insurance down payments for our devices, we are just having you sign a waiver to know that, you know, you must keep the machine or the device in good working condition. So if you can print that and fill out that waiver before you come in to pick up your child's device, that would be very helpful. In the distribution plan, as you can see here, we are starting our distribution plan on August 18th, and that will be for grade 6. And the hours are from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then you can see over here, August 19th will be George Washington students, grades 3 through 5, again, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we jump to August 25th, which is the junior and senior high, grades 7 through 12. And the final day will be August 27th, grades K to 2 at the Lockley Early Learning Center. So as you can see, it gives you the date and the location of pickup. So they will actually, the students will actually go to their assigned buildings to pick up their devices, again, between the hours of 9 and 2. Along in the policy on slide 30, you will see that, again, the technology policies. These will be posted in Google Classrooms, and students will need to acknowledge that they and their parents have read these policies. Each and every year we have you do a sign-off form on that. We also have the help desk, and so we have the help desk. If you or your child needs help with technology, you will email the help desk email right here, helpdesk@ncasd.com, or you could call in and you can talk through your issue using the help desk phone number. And so basically that is the update on technology. So when you get access to the plan, take a look at those pages. And then the other thing that I want to share with you that will be new is we are using a new grade book system and community portal system this year. So we used to use EduStar last year for the last 2 years, and now we are using Sapphire for our student information system, and that will be where we are able to post grades, and teachers will have their grade books. They will have an online kind of landing web page. We will actually, once we are completely set up with this Sapphire community web portal, you will be able to go in and update your own emergency contact information, your call alert information, and select different preferences that you might have as a family. So it'll be very important to follow through on the instructions that we will be sending out for parents to access their community web portal information. So just so if you start hearing the word Sapphire, you know what that means. So in closing, again, we are excited to get back to school and learn virtually for the first 9 weeks with students. And we hope that you find this plan a good opportunity for your students to learn, but also to be safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. Right now, I'd like to introduce it. I keep going back and forth, but again, if you think of the 4 principles: health and safety, food and nutrition, social and emotional, and quality education. All of these are a part of that puzzle. So I'd like to introduce to you right now Mrs. Jonathan Romeo, our assistant principal at the high school, and she's going to talk a little bit about our social, emotional, and mental health needs. Thank you, Mrs. Romeo.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here today. If you find that your child is in need of mental health services, please call your child's building and one of our guidance counselors will talk with you and be in touch with you in order to best service your child. Our core team, as well as the SAP team, also known as the SAP team in other buildings or the Student Assistance Program, will be continuing throughout the school year, and those individuals on the core team or the SAP team will be meeting weekly and discussing the needs of certain students. So if you need your child to be signed up for core team, don't hesitate to call us for that. Also, our partners at Human Services will also be providing all of their regular services, so there won't be any interruption to those therapies. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, I think that it's very important that we talk a little bit about, and we'll go back, when we're done with this particular subject that I'm going to be bringing in front of you, we're going to talk briefly, have each principal talk briefly about, we're going to take it from broad and bring it to each individual building. But before I move on, I had asked Mr. LaTrenta to talk a little bit about sports and where Newcastle Area School District is right now with sports. So Mr. LaTrenta, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. We as a district are committed to the health and safety of our student athletes, but recognize the social and emotional aspect of sports and the growth and well-being of our young people. For many of our student athletes, athletics is the pathway to their future success. Unlike school, there is no virtual option for sports. The governor, in conjunction with the CDC, Pennsylvania Department of Health, and PIAA, have put in place guidelines for the safety of our student athletes. The district has and will continue to implement those safety measures as well as any future guidance or mandates. On August 21st, the PIAA plans to report back to its member schools concerning fall sports. We too will reconvene at that time and discuss the future for our athletic teams. Until and unless the governor, PIAA, or WPIAL determine fall sports are canceled, the Newcastle Area School District student athletes will continue to prepare for the upcoming seasons. That said, any parent of a student athlete that chooses to opt their child out of any sport may do so without penalty, including future participation.
Thank you, Mr. LaTrenta. Thank you. So what we have planned next is we've given you a broad overview, an abundance of information, and I know that we have, and when I called home on the alert now or send a text out, I told you to plan for about an hour and a half, and we're pretty much there. We're at an hour now. What I'd like to do is take it from the broad with the district and bring it down to each individual building. So we're going to start, just as our students would start at school, with Mr. Anderson, our Harry W. Lockley Primary Center Principal, K-12, tell you a little bit about Lockley and how he sees it going.
Thank you, Mrs. de Blasio. So at Lockley Early Learning Center, as you all know, we have students in kindergarten, first, and second grade. Another way to say that is pretty much 5, 6, and 7-year-olds. And we understand that there could be some questions and, some concerns about students of this age doing school through a virtual setting. I'm here to tell you that regardless of our setting, we will not compromise the foundational principles that Lockley Early Learning Center is built on in regard to kindergarten readiness and school readiness skills. Our teachers are working hard at making sure we give the exact same level of instruction regardless of the setting. We understand the challenges in front of us, and we're going to need your help to meet them also. So I want to kind of talk to you about what it will look like when your students get into the Google Classroom, because we're hoping you are there with them to help them out. For the first week of school, we're going to have 2 goals. Those goals are going to be to connect and connect. And what I mean by that is we want to help you get your device connected and help the children navigate through their new device, their tablet, whatever they may be using. And again, we will be giving the students all tablets if they need them, and help them navigate through it so that they know how to do it. And we recognize that may take some time. But we also want to connect the teacher with the student. And our teachers are working hard right now, designing lessons through a virtual setting to make that happen. So when they do come back into Lockley Early Learning Center in November, at the end of the first 9 weeks, that connection has been established. We feel that once the students feel safe and once they feel loved, that they'll be able to learn anything. We're going to make that effort to do that same thing through distance learning. When we get into week 2, we're going to be getting into a lot of our curriculum, really focusing on our social and emotional learning with our getting along together setting and all of our SEL items that we normally do. By the time we get to week 3, we know that routines will be established. Parents, you will see a weekly schedule on Google Classroom that will look the same week to week. And it will be user-friendly for the children of that age to go through. Your students will go through whole group instruction, small group instruction, and we're even prepared to do one-on-one instruction if that's what it takes to meet the needs of your child. Important to understand, and I know it was touched upon, all aspects of school will be available to you and to your child. Our administrative team, our office staff, we are all ready. Our school counselor is ready to help with any social and emotional needs you may have. Our nurses, our health team will be there to help you out along the way, and our intervention teams will be there to address the various needs that your child may have. We are ready and willing to help in all aspects. I can be reached anytime by email at janderson@ncasd.com. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions that you may have, and we look forward to this challenge, and we look forward to your help along the way.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. David Antuano, our George Washington, grade 3 to 5, intermediate principal. Mr. Antuano, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Blasio, and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today. If you have a child that's in grades 3 through 5, he or she would be attending George Washington. I don't want to get too redundant. I know Mr. Anderson explained a lot of what's going on and the generalized what would take place in almost every single building, but what I would like to add to it is shortly you'll be receiving a letter from George Washington from our staff that will explain in detail of what the day is going to look like, your child's schedule. His homeroom teacher will be indicated on there. When you receive that letter, your child's homeroom teacher, we're going to encourage you, there will be instructions on how to get into his or her Google Classroom. On opening day of school, which will be Monday, August 31st, it will be a 2-schedule system at George Washington to help out with the food service distribution. So there will be a Monday schedule about what time your child should log in, and also a schedule for Tuesday through Friday, excuse me, of when your child should log in during the opening of school. That letter will also explain to you what time the child will log in for attendance in our SEL program. The schedule will be included in the letter. Students will follow that schedule. Once they're logged into their homeroom teacher on opening day, the homeroom teacher will explain the process and procedure and what links to click to get to their partner teacher. Your student will have 2 teachers in his or her school day while attending during the virtual semester, because we did that to limit the amount of teachers that they would be in contact with to make it easier for your child. Also, they will also have links for their specials that they will be attending. And all that will be included in the letter that comes home, and you should be receiving it probably sometime next week. If you ever have any questions,
Sorry, go ahead.
if you ever have any questions, please feel free to email me at dantuano@ncasd.com, or you can contact me at George Washington School at 656-4729. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Antuano. Mr. Antuano reminded me of something that I think it's very important. Along with the classroom curriculum that we'll be doing, children will still receive their extra curriculum classes. Those classes such as gym, such as music, such as art, whatever class they may have, such as there may be a STEAM program that's going to be offered. So students will be receiving that also. So that was a great point that Mr. Antoino had brought up, and I do want to make you sure that Mr. Anderson, Mr. Antoino, and Dr. Marino, who will be speaking here shortly, have put a lot of work into. So we are still going to be offering the arts at the high school. We're still going to be offering at the elementary buildings at different classes. So as I said, the best we could do, we're doing in this virtual setting. Thank you. And right now, I'd like to introduce Dr. Marino, who's our 6th grade principal.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Marino, principal of our 6th grade. I'm excited to share with you that very soon in the mail, you will receive a packet of information about 6th grade virtual learning. In the packet, you'll find 2 bell schedules. The first bell schedule you'll find is for Mondays. The second bell schedule you'll find is for Tuesday through Friday. You'll notice that on Monday, that schedule allows for extra time for your students to pick up their breakfasts and lunches for the week prior to their classes starting. Our school day in 6th grade is 7:25 to 2:40. Also, in this packet you're receiving in the mail, you'll find a list of your students' 6th grade classes, the names of their teachers, and contact information for each of their teachers. Even though every 6th grade schedule is an individual schedule, there's one period that every 6th grader is going to have during virtual learning, and we're really proud of this period. This period is called our WIN period. WIN stands for what I need. So in 6th grade, we understand that there's going to be many questions during virtual learning. We understand that students will have individual needs. So we created this WIN period to address just that. During WIN, students can contact teachers for assistance. Parents and guardians can contact teachers with questions. Also, we can schedule one-on-one instruction and small group instruction. But also during WIN period, answer your phones, because you might receive a phone call from teachers telling you your students are doing a wonderful job and complimenting them during virtual learning. But you could also receive a phone call reminding you to have your student log on to Google Classroom because they haven't been on regularly. So our WIN period was designed with communication in mind. Communication is extremely important, and this period allows students, families, and teachers to have the opportunity to work together. Not only are our teachers here in 6th grade here to assist you, so is our guidance counselor, Mrs. Omar, our nurses, Mrs. Keeler, Mrs. Ardro, and Mrs. Daniel, and myself. In the 6th grade, we operate like a family. And now that you're part of our 6th grade family, we're ready to work with you so each of our 6th grade students are successful. Please remember, our device pickup for 6th grade is August 18th. During that time, even if you don't need a device, we have prepared packets for every 6th grade student. Those packets are a bag of materials that they can use to complete assignments and projects during virtual learning. So please, even if you're not picking up a device, stop up the school for the packet we prepared for you. If you have any questions now or throughout virtual learning or the school year, you can always contact any of your teachers or myself. My email is tmarino@ncasd.com. We appreciate your continued support, 6th grade, and we look forward to the upcoming school year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Marino. Excellent. And we are going to move on with Mrs. Carol Morrell, who's our junior high school principal, and she will be talking on behalf of the junior and senior high school, because no use to hearing the message twice because they run the exact same schedule, Mrs. Morrell and Mr. Latrenta. So Mrs. Morrell.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carol Morrell. I'm the junior high principal in charge of grades 7 and 8. This is Mr. Latrena. He's grades 9 through 12. So we run on the same bell schedules, and we pretty much have the same procedures. So everything I say is going to apply from 7 through 12. Like my colleagues have said, there'll be a mailing out next week that will explain more of the information that you need in detail. Bell schedules will be in this mailing, as well as student schedules and any other information they need to log on to their Google Classroom. We will take daily attendance, and every teacher each period will take attendance as well. Students will be expected to log on to their device and join each Google Classroom following the bell schedules in the order of the regular periods, as if they were in the building. And then even for their lunch period, they'll have their 30 minutes off. Student schedules include a 30-minute lunch break. During that time, they are not required to be online at all. Mondays only, we will follow a virtual 2-hour delay bell schedule. That will be included in the mailing as well. That 2-hour delay bell schedule is for the food distribution on Mondays only. Tuesdays through Fridays, we will follow our regular bell schedule that will be included in the mailing next week. During our 2-hour delays, teachers will be able to have virtual office hours, do small group instruction, tutoring, parent meetings, and anything else that's needed during that time that they can't get to throughout the rest of the week. We will have device distribution on Tuesday, August 25th for grade 7 through 12 from 9 until 2. More information will come out about that, probably in an all-call as well as in the letter. Any student that needs materials from their teacher, meaning that the teacher requires additional materials for their classrooms, will also be distributed on that day of device distribution. Mostly grade 7 and 8 do not have any materials that are needed. 9 through 12, some upper level classes will have some devices and will have some materials that will be needed to be given to you. So if you do not need a device and you're taking an upper level class, an AP class, there'll be some materials for you on that device distribution day as well. Like I said, and like we all said, more information on that will be coming next week. We open for the district virtually on Monday, August 31st. For grades 7 through 12, it'll be a 2-hour delay schedule. Thank you. My email is cmorrell@ncasd.com. I check it all the time, morning, noon, and night. Mr. Latrina as well, so we're always in touch with our emails. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Morrell. So I hope we did not overwhelm you. I hope that what we did is we gave you some sort of comfort. I know the comfort is not going to be for many parents until we get back in the brick and mortar building. I know until COVID-19, there's a vaccine out there that will help our students. We're not going to get back to what we knew as normal. But in a situation like this, I would really like to tell the parents from the bottom of our hearts, we are doing everything we possibly can for our students. We will support you in any way we can. We're not going to make every parent happy. Parents have to work. I've heard those complaints. We're not going to say, I'm not a teacher. I understand. But what I do know is that Newcastle School District is here to support you with any needs that you may have concerning your child's education. I'm going to say to you, since we decided to go on virtual instruction, when we are able to return to school, and hopefully that will be on November the 4th, in some sort of model, whether it's hybrid or complete brick and mortar, we have to wait and see what's going to happen. When we do, by our students working with the teachers on the computer and doing work virtually, they will have established, and I have total faith in my whole entire staff, they will have established a rapport with each and every individual that they've worked on with the virtual model, and the learning curve and transition will be minimal. If after this presentation you have any questions at all, I have asked our Mike Deli, our mediator, to please put up our email addresses. Take a picture of it with your phone. Do what you have to do. Look on the webpage. Read over any question you have. Please send it to us. There is no question that is silly. Please know that. Try to enjoy the rest of your summer. Thank you for everything and all of your cooperation. We're doing this for the best interest of the health and safety of your students, and everyone stay NC strong. Thank you. David's last name spelled wrong.
It is.
David's last name spelled wrong.
They're not gonna get me.
It's spelled right there.
Yeah.
next week.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.